Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself?
I'm a 10.
You're a 10?
Obviously.
Oh my god. Every time these girls tell on themselves, every single time, no, you're a 10. Okay. And this is the problem, right? Like a lot of the problem of what happens in modern society stems exactly from this. These girls get all this attention on social media, they get all this attention online, and so they act like they're tens. They act like they're Beyonce or, you know, Katy Perry or something, you know? Like they act like they're some pop star, when actually they're just an average girl. It's ridiculous. Hello, and welcome to the Helios blog. My name is Helios, here for another reaction video. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit all for notifications. If you'd like me to comment on a video or compilation, please send the link to theheliosblog at gmail.com. Let's continue.
Does that mean there's like no room for improvement, or?
There's always room for improvement, but I feel like I'm a very original person.
Okay, but being an original person doesn't make you a 10 out of 10. Oh, baby. Yeah, so anyway, like, here's the thing. Like, when women are rating themselves, right, they show their unrealistic standards. And they show how it's very hard for basically the average man to, you know, essentially compete for her attention, right? And the sad part is that the average man has to compete for such attention. Okay, let's continue.
As you can tell,
A 10?
Like a 14, no, 10.
Guys, sorry, I can't understand how it's even possible for women to think that this. Oh my god, it's utterly ridiculous, guys. Like, how could these girls possibly think that they're 14 out of 10? Again, this is what happens in the modern world, right? Women are given maximum options and men are given minimum options, right? So the average woman, she sleeps with Chad once, and so she feels she's a 14. She feels she's entitled to the absolute apex man. Whereas the average man has absolutely no chance even with the average woman, especially in competitive cities like, I think this is in Los Angeles? No, Las Vegas here.
A 9.
It's sad that that's conservative. Now, I wonder how much of this is trying to look good for the camera, because they're just answering what they think will make them look best, right? So, if the girl thinks that she'll look best by calling herself a 9, then that's what she'll say, right? So, I mean, anyway.
I would rate myself a 10.
A 10?
So all these girls are rating themselves as 10. So who's told these girls that they're 10? I can tell you. They go on TikTok, they watch a video, or they make a TikTok, and they have 50 to 100 comments all saying, "You're a queen, you're a boss babe, you're the best, don't ever change, you deserve better, men are the problem." And these girls never have humility or any sort of humbleness. It's sort of... it describes a narcissist generation, right? Narcissistic women believing that they're better than they are. Anyway, and look, I mean, she's got even the fake nails, right? Like, it's like physical fitness alone doesn't make you a 10. It makes you desirable, yes. But if you're, you know, doing illicit substances and you're out with multiple men and all this kind of stuff, there's no way you can possibly be a 10.
10?
A 10. Period.
Guys, I can't even... Oh man, are we even going to get through like 19 minutes of this? I don't think so. I don't even think we're going to get through 5 minutes. Guys, it's utterly ridiculous. Again, this is the so-called 49er effect, right? The idea that women believe that because they've had the attention of Chad like once, that they're so much better than all men. Anyway.
A 10.
Like 1,000 or something.
A 10.
A 10 out of 10.
This is ridiculous. So I mean, and here's the thing, right? Because nobody teaches these women wisdom, right? What happens is that excuse me, guys. So because nobody teaches these girls wisdom, right? What happens is these women believe that by calling themselves a 10, they are projecting attractiveness. Because a man, if he believes in himself, if he's cocky, if he's confident, right? Then a man is attractive to women. And so women believe that if they are cocky and confident, that they're attractive to men, not realizing that it actually does the opposite. It accomplishes the opposite effect. It makes them repulsive, right? And this is why I'm laughing, right? Because these girls are so clueless as to what men want that it's absurd, right?
Self-love, self-love.
Yeah.
A 10, yes, 10, huh?
Which of the following is worse, being led on or being cheated on?
Being cheated on.
Both. It's hard.
I say being cheated on because being led on, you're not really with that person yet, but like being cheated on, you're like with that person and they like fucked up their loyalty.
Cashy
Oh, I'm not sure why there's an advertisement.
is made
Sorry.
with simple.
I apologize for this. I'm really not sure.
Okay, and what about you?
Well, it's kind of hard because both are really worse.
Okay, so let me comment on this for a second. And sorry, guys, I really do apologize for the advertisement. I'll cut it out in post. Anyway, so here's the thing: women actually actively choose men who are cheaters, right? So they say that getting cheated on is worse, but actually, them being led on is worse. Now. Another thing is the following. They'll tend to answer solipsistically, right? So a woman is going to tend to answer that being led on is worse because they're actually more likely to cheat. Anyway, the idea is this. A woman wants to lock down a Chad, right? She wants to lock down a top 5% man. So if a man lies to her about his, willingness to commit, she's going to see that as far worse than him sleeping with another girl. Whereas for men don't care so much about, they do care about being led on, of course, if they're in a serious relationship. But if they're in a non-serious relationship, then being cheated on is worse. Because, again, when a man is cheated on, basically what it means is that biologically he's been replaced by a different man, and men are territorial when it comes to women. So being cheated on is worse than being led on for men. Although women do what they tend to do before they ever cheat on a guy is they lead him on, making him believe that the relationship is going properly, but actually she's interviewing another option, right? And she plans to replace him.
Just because being led on, like, you get all excited and you get your hopes up and then it's like a disappointment.
Literally. So she's actually speaking from personal experience. So the idea here is she's saying that, as I said, a woman wants to lock down a top 5% man, and basically what they do is they spend their 20s going from top 5% to top 5% to top 5%, never being able to lock down any of them. And then being upset at the result, right?
Being led on, like, you get all excited and you get your hopes up and then it's like a disappointment. And then being cheated on is more of a betrayal.
I would say those two are very similar. I think they both lack honesty and straightforwardness.
I'm inclined to agree. I really am inclined to agree. So, as I said, in relationships, what women tend to do is it's premeditated, right? So the girl is going to lead you on. She's going to pretend that the relationship is still going well. But what she's going to do is she's going to sleep with another man, or she's going to set up the conditions where she's going to sleep before branch swinging to that guy. So cheating and leading a man on are two very different things. Two related things. In my head, I was thinking about women. So for women, they're two very different things. A woman, it's much worse for her to get led on, because if a woman gets cheated on, what that actually means is that the man is such a winner that he can have multiple women, and actually makes him attractive to women. So, but if the woman's being led on, if the man is faking the relationship, the woman believes that she's in a secure position, but she's actually not. And this tends to ruin women much more, because they are looking not to make sure that their kid is theirs, like what men are doing. Women are trying to lock down resources and provisioning for their children. So if a man is leading her on, it tends to lead to worse results for women, and so they find it to be worse.
Which I think is essential to a healthy relationship dynamic. So I wouldn't say one is worse than the other. I would say you need honesty for either one of those, you know. You don't want to lead someone on. You don't want...
I mean, again, I'm inclined to agree. But here's the thing. Many women are taking advantage of honest men like this guy. I mean, because you see, he's also speaking from experience. He believes in honesty and in, basically he believes in equalism, right? That men and women should treat each other the same way and basically have an equal relationship where both are honest. But what actually ends up happening is, if a woman realizes that you're honest, or you're going to play by the rules and you're not going to hold strong to your frame, what she's going to do is she's going to take full advantage and try to take control of the relationship and try to impose her frame, which is inherently self-destructive. And women's frame, what it tends to be is, I want to maximize my options while you minimize your options.
You want to cheat somebody because you wouldn't want to be led on and you wouldn't want to be cheated.
Is it fair for somebody who leads people on to complain about being cheated on?
So what he's implying here is that women tend to lead men on. Oh, I forgot to mention this very important point, but let me mention it here. Women are much, much more guilty of leading men on. So what they do, this is a very, very common behavior, guys. What they do is they will pretend that they're interested in a guy. But actually, what they're interested in is his free attention, validation, and butler services. And so women collect these things called orbiters. Orbiters are basically loser men that believe that they have a chance with a girl. And so they stick around hoping that one day she'll be single. And what ends up happening is she leads the man on, taking his free attention, validation, resources, gas money, etc., and dinners. But he actually never has a chance with the girl. And so what he's saying is, people that tend to be inherently dishonest like this and lead men on, is it fair for them to complain when they get cheated on? So some men, they're savvy to the game, and so they see what women are doing, and so instead of allowing the girl to lead them on, they cultivate multiple options at once. Now, of course, the only men who are able to cultivate multiple options at once are the top 5% men, which women then complain about who cheat on them. So it's, it's a little ridiculous, to be honest.
No.
What do you think?
I don't know. That's
I don't understand why there's ads here. Anyway, I'm going to cut these ads.
I can't hear you. Microphone.
That's a hard question. Oh. No. I agree with her, nah.
It's interesting how you word your questions. I think both of them lack a sense of morality and consideration.
Indeed. I actually agree entirely with this guy. I think this guy's actually quite wise, to be honest. He's probably like 45 plus based on his looks here. But anyway, he's absolutely right. The dating market nowadays in 2022, it does lack morality and honesty. And honestly, women are actually coming out way on top using these Machiavellian cheating strategies. that inherently lack morality and a sense of caring about other people. I agree entirely. So if a person is the type of person that would lead men on, then it is ridiculous for them. It's ridiculous for them to complain about being cheated on, right? Because they're both inherently dishonest and lack morality. I agree. But that doesn't mean that those things don't happen. So you as a man need to be aware of the world you're living in so you can prevent such problems from happening to you.
Nah, I believe you whatever you put into the world, you get back. So.
If only that were true. If only that were true. That would be wonderful. And this guy's, you can see, right? He seems to be, like a blue pillar, or like the type of guy that, he's a nice guy, right? You can see it in his eyes. He looks like a nice guy, right? So, but here's the problem. The standard expression applies. Nice guys finish last, right? So you can't believe that you get what you put in, right? Because if you put in all of your attention, effort, validation, commitment into a girl, you're not going to get the same thing back from most women. You're going to get a lot less. For the most part, if you believe that by being nice, being respectful, treating girls, like putting them on a pedestal, if you expect to be treated the same way, you're actually going to get used and discarded, right? It's not going to, the world isn't going to give you what you put in. And perhaps this guy has been lucky in his life to never have experienced this, or maybe he's just clueless. He's clueless to the pattern of behavior, of things that's happening in his life, to not see it.
You're gonna lead people on, you get cheated on, feel like you gotta ask for it, you know.
Kind of like karma, right?
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, in the sense that women who are inherently dishonest tend to get cheated on, that is true. So if he's coming from that perspective, that is correct. But if he's coming from the blue pill perspective of you get in life what you put out, that is actually incorrect. Life is a game, and you need to play it correctly in order to win. And you cannot play it correctly by believing that everyone is out in your best interest, that everyone has the best intentions at heart, everyone's a good person, and by treating everyone well and properly that you're going to get good results. That is actually untrue and is a dangerous thought process. It'll get you used and discarded, I believe. And I think that's one of the inherent problems with our modern world, that everyone gets lied to, right?
What age did you first realize that you had the power to influence men using your looks?
Ooh, I think when I was
14.
16.
16?
Yeah.
How were you able to influence?
Here you go. So here's the thing. I've heard this funny expression before. I've heard that once a woman realizes that she can manipulate a man based on her looks, she stops maturing after that age. So if she realizes she could do it at 12, she'll start maturing at 12. If she realizes at 14, at 16, she'll start maturing past that point. And that's actually the reason why so many older women, like 30 plus or 35, whatever, they still act like 16-year-olds, is because when they were 16, they realized they could manipulate men based on their looks. And at that point, they no longer had to mature any further intellectually. They could then just socially manipulate to get what they wanted.
Influence them?
I don't know, just by being myself.
Okay, no, I mean, like, what were you able to influence them to do certain things, or?
Yeah, just by me talking to them and being very friendly, they would do things for me without even me giving something back.
Okay, so that's actually one of the reasons why I made this channel, right? So the reason why I made this channel is because men need to learn that if you do things for women for free like that, what you're actually doing is you are perpetuating a giant problem in modern society. You're actually perpetuating the destruction of the world, right? If you're giving women free attention, here's what happens. What happens is they get an inflated sense of self-worth, and they believe that they're a 10 or a 15 out of 10. As a result of this, the average man has no chance with that girl because she thinks she's higher than the average man. And so then this girl goes and chases the absolute apex men. But the apex men, having so many women interested in them, they never choose any of them. And so that man makes all the women unhappy, and then those women go to the loser men later to save them. So the inherent behavior of trying to save women or validate women for nothing, just for being nice, that sort of thing will absolutely lead to giant problems in your life. So don't do it. All right. Let's move on to a Reddit article here. One sec. Let me just go to relationship advice. Yes, let's go here. Okay. 1 second. I'm just refreshing it because I want to see the new posts. Oh. My boyfriend, 26 male, can't accept that my mentor, male in his 50s, isn't trying to sleep with me. Okay, this sounds... The background is that I had a pretty chaotic upbringing. Okay, that's already a red flag. Parents divorced. Mum was a disaster on multiple fronts. Dad had a new family which I was reluctantly added to. Teenage years were a wild ride. So guys, if she has a chaotic family life, she's probably just friends with benefits only, right? I mean, that's how it goes. Throughout all this stuff, one of my dad's friends, who's also the dad of one of my sister's friends, was also super supportive. Not in a creepy way at all, but he was just always nice to me, and he wrote me a letter of recommendation to help me get into university and help me get my first internship. Okay, nothing sus so far. We stayed in touch and we live in the same city. I text him when I need advice. We have lunch a couple times a year. I borrowed £500 from him one time, which I paid back, when I went overdrawn. He sends me $50 and a card on my birthday. It's really nice. So, man, here's what you need to understand. If a girl is texting any man regularly who isn't you, that man is an option. He's going to see that girl as an option. He's going to shoot his shot. I guarantee you that this man here has tried or will try at some point in the future. This has never been anything other than platonic, and he's never been in the slightest bit creepy or weird with me. If I'm honest, then I do suspect there is an attraction on his side, but he's never acted on it and never done anything to make me feel uncomfortable, and I genuinely don't think that's why he's interested in me. False. That's exactly why he's interested in you. I think he just likes my company and wants to see me do well. This girl she can't be this clueless. She's purposely trying to wield this option, right? Under the guise of her being, like a good person or whatever. Yeah, this is ridiculous. I value him, and he's been a massive positive influence on my life. Basically, he's a beta orbiter, right? My boyfriend, who I've been with 6 months, thinks it's a complete garbage, and he's trying to sleep with me, and I shouldn't see him anymore. He doesn't like that we're intimate in our text messages. Uh-oh! And thinks it's weird that I see him for lunch by myself. I'm 25, I'm allowed out. Right, so the boyfriend is naturally protective because his instinct is to mate guard because he knows as a man that how men are, right? I'm now getting angry because it feels like my BF is saying nobody would want to be friends with me unless they want to sleep with me. There is no such thing as a male friend, guys. There is no such thing. If a girl tries to convince you that she has male friends, she doesn't. She's using those friends for the benefits, and those friends all want to sleep with her. And here's the thing. If you do this experiment, you can tell very easily whether he's actually interested or not. All you have to do is get him to text her. Get her to text him, to invite him to sleep with her. And he'll 100%, 100 times out of 100, he'll do it. So it's clear. There's a lot of good views below which I'll respond to. Okay. Alright, let's see what the comments are. Okay. Right, so the top comment here is supporting the girl. This is a you go girl type post. Sure, you can ditch the guy who you've known about 10 years who helps you when you're in a tough spot, beta orbiter. Gives you life advice and has never made you uncomfortable. Or you did... Basically, that means he's a stable beta orbiter, right? He's a guy she can use for easy attention. Or you ditch your man of 6 months who's so concerned for you he's starting fights when you haven't done anything wrong. False. She has done things wrong. It's just not wrong from the female perspective because it maximizes females' options and minimizes male options. So, no, that's a lie. And it's making you feel bad. If your boyfriend were actually concerned for your well-being, he'd approach it a lot differently. Indeed, what this girl is trying to say is, if your boyfriend cared about you, he would worship the ground you walk on. He would do exactly what you wanted him to do. Yes, your mentor might want to sleep with you if you asked, but at least he's not telling you or forcing you to do it. So guys, as I said, right, like it's utterly ridiculous. And if your girl refuses to get rid of her male friends, you know what to do. It's an end of the relationship. All right. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Remember, if you're liking the videos, please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Also, if you agree or disagree with my commentary, please leave a comment. That's what the comment section is for. All right. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.